Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is Jason Burns here, doing the weekly D22 Zone
Can you
podcast.
introduce something as good night? It sounds like goodbye.
Well, probably.
Okay, well, good.
Well, now we just start over.
We're a bit scratchy at the moment,
Good night,
as you
guys.
can probably tell. We haven't done one of these for like a whole 2 weeks, so bear with us. But we do have some new people who have joined us, and I'm going to introduce them right now. A first person called Abigail. Say hi, Abby.
Is it a problem if I don't have a British accent?
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's false advertising.
This is so awkward now.
All right, so
Put on your best.
let's do that then. Hello, my name is Abigail.
That's shockingly good, actually.
I enjoy video games and playing
that's
video
Australian
games. I always did do a better Australian. I'm very excited to be working for D22Zone.com. It's going to be fun.
We, of course, have Max as well. Say hi, Max.
Always. Hello.
Sounding enthusiastic as ever.
I was on my phone. I was checking a very important message.
He's doing something more important.
And then we have our mobile internet friend, Ollie. Say hi, Ollie.
Good night.
That was good.
That is pretty awkward. Okay, so we've been away for 2 weeks. We've been pretty busy. We've been playing around with new websites, been playing around with tons of new games, and we've finally just got around to doing this new one. So here we are. This is podcast, I think, number 7 actually now.
I think 700, I think.
700. Oh, right, okay. So we're pretty well established now, I presume.
Yeah.
So we've got a few podcast topics tonight. What have you been playing this week? Any upcoming games you're looking forward to? I had a quick go on Realm of the Mad God. Didn't really like it. We'll briefly go over that anyway. And then just some general chit-chat, probably about Guild Wars 2 and the pre-order release bonus and that sort of stuff. So, yeah, it's going to be quite a good venue tonight. Quite a good venue. So then, what have you been playing this week? That question goes to Abby.
Oh, well, it's my time to shine. I have been playing almost exclusively, ever since it went free-to-play, Aion, actually. It's, I loved it, and I had a subscription to it for a while when it wasn't free-to-play. But now that it is, it's like a dream come true. I love it. Love it.
Like, I did play it at the start.
Yeah, you and I played it.
And do you know what really annoyed me is when you start off in that sort of jungly area and then you port to a city when you've done so many quests.
Yes.
I wanted to fly then, but I couldn't fly, so I just gave up. I was like, no.
I think the problem is like they advertise it. You see all these people flying. Like, oh my god, this is so cool! And then you can kind of glide a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I'm getting there. I did get to the point where I could fly though, and it was quite liberating.
You get your wings at level 10, but then there's only like specific places where you can fly. Although it's pretty decent and it's pretty fun to glide like off of cliffs and stuff. Really cuts down some of the travel time, but you can't just fly anywhere. And as you gain levels, you gain more flight time. But no, I enjoy it, but I'm really into that like kind of thing. It's a little grindy. I would say if you're not a fan of MMOs, this is not the one to start you off with. I think it was Korean originally.
Yeah,
and they just love their grinding in Asia. And it was worse. Like now they gave you like a whole bunch of incentives, like double XP, amulets, and all that. But it was so much worse when it first came out.
I do remember.
Like grinding isn't my thing. I hope Guild Wars has none. I hope I can start at the maximum level.
Oh, the World of Warcraft! Did you hear that? World of Warcraft. If you recruit a friend and they sign up, you get one of your guys leveled up to 80. Like that's just wrong. That is something that should not happen.
Do you think that is in gameplay time? Like,
not a lot anymore.
2 weeks.
I don't know, how long did it take you to get to level 70, Glove? when
me
you
about
used to work at the
5
gym
years.
and complained about people coming into the gym and you said they had no lives.
Yeah, it took me
Good
quite
times.
a long time.
Those were simpler times.
Also, do you remember when I got the first fly mat before you? Oh, right.
You what you mean when you gave some cyber sex to somebody and they bought it for you? I do remember, yeah.
And we raced to the top of the skybox, and I absolutely dominated your ass.
Right.
Cool. Anyway, yeah, I like Aion, whichever way you pronounce it. I potentially might get back into it, but we'll see. How big is it to download? Just out of curiosity.
I think it's like 20 gigs.
Oh wow.
It's not.
God.
It's a gorgeous game, but there's a cost to that. Like it's a little resource intensive. I can play it on my laptop, but I have a kind of a decent laptop. But it's gorgeous. I think it's using the Cry engine.
Yeah, I believe so.
If I recall, and it's the best looking MMO RPG I've ever seen. And it may be one of the prettiest games that I've ever seen. So there's that to consider.
It is very nice.
If you're a graphics slob like I am, snob, excuse me. We got to go back. We got to redo the podcast. Other than that, I put up on the site the Wasteland 2 Kickstarter project. I am excited for that because I'm a huge Fallout fan, and anything that Brian Fargo is involved with, I want to get behind that.
Yeah,
in a major way.
News about that, definitely. Like, how much are they pledging for? Is it 900?
900 grand. They've already done about
yeah.
650, I think.
Have they really? Oh man,
Yeah, as of this
yesterday
recording.
it was like 200,000. That's crazy. Let me just log on to D22zone.com and check.
I've heard of that website.
Woohoo!
That's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, $728,000.
Wow, that's amazing.
Which I think is £6.50.
Take off half, and then you have it in like US dollars.
Yeah, something like that. This is the D22 Zone financial podcast.
I used to do that, I used to be a financial advisor.
Oh man, I'd go insane.
I just, you know what? It's super fun. I just couldn't make a living out of it because I was honest and I worked on commission. So, yeah. Oh well. I might go back to that though. That was fine. Wow, 729,000.
That's pretty crazy.
That's $500,000 in 24 hours.
None of it's mine.
About that Double Fine Kickstarter. Like,
The Double Fine one,
they get
yeah.
to? Just under 4
3
million?
Just under
I think
4,
so, yeah.
That's just crazy.
The thing is, though, I think I would rather see a game in the Wasteland ilk than I would another adventure game. Like, adventure games do exist, but games like Wasteland, Fallout don't anymore. Outside of, like, some ambitious projects.
Well, what do you mean by that? Because you could argue that any sort of like post-apocalyptic, like Metro 2033 or
well, it's not so much the tone of Wasteland and Fallout that I'm interested in. It's more that kind of like top-down role-playing game style.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
Because like you've got, I remember watching some of the Kickstarter videos that Double Fine put together, like, and there was an interview between Schaefer and Ron Gilbert, and they were talking about what they consider to be adventure games, and like they do exist. You've got things like Gemini Rue, which is like a different take, Machinarium, and these kind of things. I can't think of too many games off the top of my head that are comparable to Wasteland, Fallout 1 and 2.
Yeah, you pretty much have to go to like good old game. You have to go back to the past basically if you want that kind of top-down or like isometric view, which I miss. I love the isometric view. Although I guess Diablo 3's coming out.
That's true.
That'll be fun, maybe.
Well, also there's talk of obviously Chris Avellone, Obsidian genius, video game legend. Because Obsidian have leaked over the past few hours that they've had to lay off in the region of 40 staff and have cancelled a game, their next-gen game.
No.
I know. I know.
No.
First for news, D22 zone.
Oh man, they're really good at that. Like
They are. They are really good. What's the website? D22zone.com.
I think it was. I think there's a triple W in front of that. I'm not sure though.
I've just put it
I'm
into
not sure.
my internet
Don't quote
browser.
me on that. Do
I've
not quote me on
bookmarked
that.
it.
Okay.
For you lovely
All right.
listeners, just to clear this up, we have been on a bit of a Brian Butterfield stomp at the moment.
We should include the Butterfield video in the
Oh,
pod that
absolutely.
contains this podcast, I think.
Yeah, we'll just sit here awkwardly for about 45 seconds while the video plays, and then we'll get back to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is
cool.
this about? Video games? Is that what we're talking
Yeah,
about?
something like that.
VG games.
Well, we were talking about Kickstarter and some kind of money, and then
I think it's amazing what can happen. Like Kickstarter, these projects, they're essentially cutting out the middleman, and I don't know, it's blowing me away. But then again,
yeah. Like I
grew
didn't
up
support
where-
the Double Fine one. I don't feel too bad about that.
Mhm.
But this Wasteland project, and ultimately, if Chris Avellone and the Obsidian guys feel that they can, start a Kickstarter project for something in the Planescape ilk,
yes.
I will give them all of the money that I have to do that.
all of your monies.
All of the monies that I own, as long as one of the pledge options is for Chris Avellone to read something to me that he's written. If he could read the Planescape story to me, that'd be quite nice.
There's a website, where somebody took all the Planescape dialogue and like all the things that you have in game, and they just made a novel out of it. It's actually pretty good. I
think
actually
if you
kind of
buy,
prefer that.
If you buy Planescape on Good Old Games, I think you get a copy of that as a download.
Oh yeah? Let me check,
In a
'cause I bought it
PDF.
on... I bought it on Gogue.com, and it was pretty good. I was expecting like a Fallout experience, and I got that in terms of story, but I didn't get it in terms of like gameplay. I found that they sacrificed
Well,
like
the
combat
gameplay is
for
awful.
that.
It's just awful.
I wouldn't go that far.
It's just I'm not a fan of, like, a lot of these games have combat systems and inventories and UI that I find completely obtrusive, and I struggle to enjoy the game underneath. In the game, I just about managed. Like, I put the combat on easy, and I kind of like clicked my way through the game a little bit. But if I could have skipped the combat, that's topical. I would have much preferred the game. Much prefer. I had no idea how to micromanage my party. I just wanted to, see what happened, and I never finished it because my computer broke. I know.
If it makes you feel any better, I had the Xbox Arcade, and I had a little memory stick, and I lost the memory stick, so I had to restart everything.
Oh wow.
Everything.
That's upsetting.
I was pretty distressed actually for about a week. I went through like the 7 stages of grieving, right? So first there was denial, like, oh no,
You're
I can
checking
totally
your
find it.
pockets.
It's here. It's in the car somewhere. It fell out. Maybe it's at the mall. I don't know. Let's go to the mall and see if I can find it.
That's a shopping centre for our European listeners.
Wow, really?
We should include subtitles, I think.
I guess we should say that I'm the only one in North America on the site. So, hey, guess who's going to PAX?
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Well, guess who's
Totally
going
to
to
PAX.
work on Friday? Me. Yeah.
I am technically going to work when I go to PAX.
That's true.
Technically. Although, not gonna feel like it, so that's good.
What was the question again?
I don't remember.
It was what you've been playing this week.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Video games, right, yes.
Yeah, video games.
Video games. The
well,
talking
obviously,
box.
You've been playing Aion or Aion. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. What about you, Max? What have you been playing this week?
That's a good question. Apart from Dota 2, which
Apart from
is
Dota
the product of on our YouTube. On our YouTube page, I've been Steam tells me I've played 43 hours of Dota 2 in the past 2 weeks, which is upsetting.
That's a part-time job.
It really is. I've also played a Rayman Origins demo. I threw some impressions up on the website. Good, it is. Spoilers for the impressions on the website. It's good.
I don't think that counts as a spoiler.
Well, you know how
whatever. We'll
some people
throw that
are.
tag up there.
And Binding of Isaac. 5 hours of the Binding of Isaac, and it continues to frustrate me and boggle my mind in equal measure.
Mm.
Pretty distressing.
Yeah.
If not for the imagery on show, which I find quite amusing, which I'm not sure if I should.
Well,
but I get to a point where I think, oh yeah, I've got some really good items here. You know, my tiers are doing loads of damage. I'm really quick. I'm basically unbeatable. And obviously, at that stage, I quickly die. Some kind of vagina monster fires a laser beam at me, and then game over.
Yeah, it happens like that really quick. There's my review on D22zone.com.
I've heard of it.
It's pretty good.
They review video games.
It's got advertising now and everything.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna die. Oh no. Oh, okay. No, it took me 9 hours to beat my first Binding of Isaac, and I haven't beaten it since.
I thought it got easier.
No.
Oh man.
No.
You're in for a hard journey.
You're delightful.
Yeah, because obviously the way that Isaac works is as you unlock items, they become more frequent in a dungeon, so on repeated playthroughs and stuff like that. But yeah, a friend of a friend, or friend of D22's Josh tells me that it should get easier. Don't worry, I managed to cover that with some clever editing. Extremely clever.
I think we may have lost Abigail. But
Don't
we'll
worry.
keep talking.
But what about you, Jason? What have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing some pretty out of the blue games this week. I have been enjoying a spot of Dota 2, which is sucking up too much of my time.
Oh, it takes up too much time. I enjoy it, but it's only because if I had to play it by myself, then I would struggle. Yeah. It's only because I get to play it with you guys. Like Fandy, another friend of the website, Andrew Porter, check out his website, fandy.co.uk. He suggested to me that Defense of the Ancients 2 is one of the perfect games for us because it not only satisfies the need of being a competitive multiplayer game, but it's also, for all intents and purposes, a co-op game, which is pretty cool. And that's why it takes up so much of our time. Too much. Also, for those of you who are listening, pick Pudge, go jungle, buy Smoke of Deceit, and thank me later. Before it gets nerfed.
And some hot tips there from Max.
Hot tips. That's my tip of the week.
Tip of the week.
Look for that feature coming up on the website. Max's tip of the week. It could be for any game. Final Fantasy VII, hold down all the shoulder buttons and your Chocobo's stamina doesn't drain as quickly in the Chocobo races. There you go.
Double W. Dot.
What else have you played? I know you've been playing Stacking.
Stacking,
recently.
That was the out of the blue game I've been playing. I love it. I've only
it's
played
cool.
about 8% of it, but I love it. I think it's such a weird mechanic that you can go into somebody else, like stack into someone else and just walk around with them. That's just so weird.
One of my favourite things about it is the way in which the kind of puzzles in the game or the situations you find yourself in have multiple ways of solving it.
Yeah.
So in the train station, which is this level, you have to clear out is it a restaurant or VIP area or something like that of people, and you can kind of go in there as an uninvited guest But my favourite way of doing it is by occupying the body of a smelly chef, I think he is. And you stand by the air vent and you unleash a fart down the air vent, and it clears out the room of all the people.
You see, I didn't do it that way. I went into a woman, which
Oh,
sounds
the
weird,
sexy woman.
and then seduced the guard away from the doors. Jumped back out into my little Timothy body, I think his name is, and walked right on in there.
I think that says more about the difference in our personalities.
Yeah.
You would rather be a seductive woman, and I'd rather fart into a room
So
full
what
of
you're
people.
saying is, if you
I don't see why you can't do both.
Well, exactly. I think if a woman ever seduced me and then farted, I'd probably propose on the spot. I would. It's true fact.
So
It's cool to see
saying,
stacking has come out on PC. Obviously, it's been out on the consoles for a while now. But that and Costume Quest both out on Steam. Quite nice.
well, I played about 10 minutes on Dell's PS3, but nothing huge, and loving it so far. Really good.
Well, the console version struggles a little bit. The PS3 version, I'm not sure about the Xbox version, struggles a little bit on slowdown in certain areas, which I assume is taken care of in the PC version.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
I would hope.
Moving on, because we are seriously running out of time here. Seriously.
I'm glad I'm involved in this podcast.
Ollie. I was just about to bring you in. Ollie has been playing Gracious Space Battles, is that right?
I've been playing Gratuitous Tank Battles.
Oh,
and
that one, yeah.
Project Zomboid. Pretty good.
Ollie's the one who plays those kind of games that we won't play.
Yeah.
For whatever
That's
reason.
because I'm the proest.
It's true.
It's true, yeah.
I've read that about you. On D22zone.com.
.com.
www.
Yep. D22.
W. Full stop.
This is the D22 Inside Joke podcast.
Of the week.
Of the week.
And I've got a hot tip right now.
Is that a
You've got a
sexy thing?
hot tin? Is that a Scottish thing?
I think it is.
No,
It's where they
I
keep
said
their
hot tip.
brew.
Oh, hot tip.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I get it. I get stuff.
But yeah, I've been playing Gratuitous Tank Battles, which only just came out in beta. Really good.
So what's better? Tank battles or space battles?
I don't know. I can't say just yet, because one is more of pitched battles, and you have to think about the other ships that the person has, but this is more of a tower defense game. I suppose the premise is kind of the same, except one person is static and the other person is always moving. But I don't know. I couldn't say just yet. Give me a week.
Is it fun?
It's very fun. I'm awful at tower defense games, and this game is right up. And I'm still loving it. I've been playing it all yesterday, and I think that's when it came out, wasn't it?
Well, you're not the only one. Like Josh and Jim have both been playing a lot of Gratuitous Space Battles over the past few days. Was it on sale? Like, it's just people just seem to be playing it all of a sudden.
I think it came out and it was on sale.
So that's probably why they picked it. But yeah, Space Battles is fantastic as well. It's one of those games that looks so good in motion, even though it's 2D. The animations in that are fantastic.
Yeah, the screenshots that you sent me, because obviously I haven't played it, but the screenshots kind of leave a lot to be desired.
Yeah, they don't work for a game like this, but the game in motion is a pleasure to look at, and the environments, and there's like a little night vision mode for certain maps as well. That looks really smart. It's very pleasing to the eye, even though it's simple game, but just fantastic.
Unlike Dwarf Fortress,
which is simple to the eyes,
But not so much to the brain.
Not to the brain, no. Max's brain, anyway. Did you get past?
I didn't. I'm watching Sippy Cup's videos.
All right, yeah.
And they're good.
Well,
they're good. Really
they're
informative.
good. He's pretty good at doing it, actually. But yeah, I mean, the thing you got to learn how to do is just build stockpiles, make some rooms, make a dining hall, make an office.
See, this sounds so simple, but when you can't use a mouse,
Yeah.
it makes it slightly more difficult.
No, what are you on about?
Well, I started a new world because I thought I'd watch his videos from the start to make sure I wasn't ruining anything for myself. And he's got something like 37 videos in that playlist. His Let's Play Dwarf Fortress, and I'm on number 3. So.
Well, I think maybe less than half of that is actually teaching you how to play, and then it goes on to a kind of Let's Play type thing.
All right.
But it's all informative because you don't need to know it all from there. You get to a certain point and then you can kind of do it yourself. There's only a few points where you really need help. That's kind of just a pain. Military, setting up your military can be a bit of a pain to do, and that's about it really. And vampires, which was quite a new addition actually.
Well, I saw one person posit the question: if your entire fortress is vampires, do you win?
I don't see how you could lose.
Well, yeah, no, that's true. You probably couldn't lose because
It's one of those like
they're amazing.
Fortress continues to be one of those games like EVE Online that I am so interested in reading about. Like when someone posts a story or a comic or something from Dwarf Fortress, it's endlessly entertaining, and like the randomized kind of dialogue that comes up and like randomized like weird combat and stuff like that is so hilarious. But hopefully these Sippy Cup videos will make it so I can be the one telling these stories at dinner parties.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, I recently started him again because of the update, and just, it's hilarious the things that you get up to, or the things that just happen to you. Because I started a fortress, it was going really well, and then I got invaded, and it was a necromancer, and it started raising all the skeletons of the animals died outside my fortress. And so there were skeleton donkeys and monkeys and stuff like that, and pikes and carp just coming out.
The skeletons of carp were attacking your dwarves.
Yeah,
that's terrifying.
In the river, and just before you know it, you're all your dwarves are chased in your fortress by a skeleton donkey and they can't kill it. And that's it. You have to abandon your fortress.
That's game over.
It's game over.
If I could, if I had a nickel for the amount of times that happened to me.
Oh, man. I think my favourite Dwarf Fortress story ever, or there's a couple of them, but this is before the 3D update. But some guy had a dwarf who was so angry, so massively angry, picked up a kitten and threw it at a horse, but he threw it with such force it decapitated the horse.
Oh wow. Like, I really like the idea of these games that have a kind of like endless depth to them.
Yeah.
But I think, for me, the perfect game would be one that allows you to get into the game fairly easily before throwing this kind of depth on you.
Yeah, well, the problem is the interface is atrocious at the moment. It's crap. But they're not going to change it until they've released the final build, because there's so much that they might change. That
makes sense.
UI would just be a pain for them at the moment. And the game's still in alpha, as far as I know. And it's been in development for 12 years.
Yeah, that happens.
And like the first playable code came out in 2006. They started in 2001.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But the guy Toady won. He made like a few other really good ASCII kind of games. There was one called, damn it, completely forgot what it's called. But the premise kind of was like Dwarf Fortress, but you were like a little gang of guys, and you had to go out and you like had to cause mischief, get money, you know. It was great. Going around like an adventure mode in Dwarf Fortress, which is also really good.
What's the easiest mode? Is Dwarf Fortress the easiest mode to kind of set up?
Yeah, like.
That's what we call dead air.
As we all see messages appearing.
Don't worry.
Yeah, well, that's the problem, eh?
4 minutes, guys, till you ejaculate.
Isn't that a Madonna song, 4 minutes?
Men can't multitask. I think we've proven it again.
Yeah,
No,
like
I
something
just
pops
meant
up
that,
that we
and I
need
was
to
like,
read
4
about, and
minutes
it's
to
like,
what?
wait a minute, what are we doing?
Like Abby was like,
Anyway.
yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah,
We'll do this.
Anyway, like Fortress mode and adventure mode are completely different. One is more like a roguelike where you're going around as one person, and it's like an RP. You go around, you increase your skills, you get companions, and you kick some shit into other shit. But Fortress mode is more like Dungeon Keeper, where you just manage a fortress and that's it.
I wonder if, take it full circle, I'll tell you what, you talk about genius. I wonder if Dwarf Fortress would ever be thinking about kickstarting the project, because obviously it's been in like development for such a long time. I wonder if they'll ever get to the point where they think that, you know, they could go for something like a Kickstarter project.
Maybe.
Well, because obviously I don't know how it's being
I
funded.
don't
Like I don't
know
know
what
much
they
about
do.
like the
I don't know.
development and the studio and things like
Yeah.
that.
No. They release. Toady releases how much he gets funded every year. He releases the months, or I don't know. Is it every month? He releases the amount he's made every month, and when he something because people were donating again. But and usually he gets $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 every month.
Wow.
So he makes quite a lot, to be fair. And I don't know how many people are on the Dwarf Fortress team. I think it's only 1 or 2 people, if that. I could be wrong.
Well, I don't know how much of that would go to salaries either, you know? It's probably all going back into development.
Yeah, I would imagine that
Well,
these new Kickstarter have some kind of capital behind them already that funds staff, man hours, and that kind of thing.
I don't know. I think when you're asking for 900,000, part of that's probably going to go to salaries, but it can't be everything. But that's the major
I would imagine
cost,
that
it's
because obviously
labor.
in that in the Wasteland 2 Kickstarter video, he talks
Mhm.
about how he's funding. I'm not sure whether or not he said that he'd pay. Is it $100,000 or something
Yeah,
like that?
he himself is donating 100,000,
Which is nice of him.
which is great. But I mean, he'll.
Here you go. This is
man.
an older thing. I think it says from 2009 to 2010. But that's Toady One's how many donations that have been.
That's a lot.
To pay 12.
What happened in April?
Yeah, he obviously,
Usually the donations peak when releases massive updates. That was April. Thinking about it, that might have been the 3D update, which I doubt. Don't quote me on that, but it might be.
Maybe that's
Dwarf
when it got
Fortress
on
seems
Steam.
to have kind of come to prominence, in the past kind of 12 months. I'm hearing a lot more people talking about it in kind of a mainstream space than perhaps previously.
I just don't know if I should play it. I don't know if it's going to be fun for me. That's the only thing.
That's the thing that I'm concerned about. I was reading rather, a piece about Pathologic,
Mm-hmm.
is a game by
By those guys there that make
by
video
those guys,
games.
Ice Pick Lodge,
Very
and
good.
it's a 40-hour game, and it's a struggle. It really is a struggle to play. Like, it's so interesting and it's so clever and so dark. But I was reading through a Rock Paper Shotgun article about kind of like that he dissects the game, so he's talking about like intricate spoilers and like gameplay and that kind of thing. And I was thinking to myself, is this worth spoiling? Because am I going to play it? And like Dwarf Fortress is kind of in the same bracket for me. Like, I know it's so interesting, but at the same time, I know that I could probably not play it and read these stories and get just as much enjoyment out of it as I would do if it was me kind of struggling to understand what I'm looking at on a screen.
Yeah. For me, it's like I have a finite amount of money. I want to maximize the amount of fun that I get for that money. Is this going to be like a good way to do it? You know.
Well, Dwarf Fortress is free, obviously, to download.
What?
The problem for me isn't so much the money; it's my time. Like, I have to watch YouTube videos to understand how to play the game, and like it all kind of adds up. And I mean, that's a game of Dota 2 that I could be playing.
What? It's free?
It's free.
What?
And there's even an app
Spoilers.
that you can download called the Lazy Noob Pack, and I fulfilled both of those requirements. And it kind of it simplifies some stuff for you, and there's like a little options thing that you get as well. But it's good. It helps out. So that's probably what I'm going to be doing after this podcast closes.
Oh, this is not what I thought this was. Okay, no. Yeah, no, I got it. Never mind. I thought it was another game, Dwarf Fortress. But it's not. It is the Dwarf Fortress game. But it looks, I don't know, it looks kind of neat.
Well,
but also intimidating.
Unfortunately, to be that kind of guy, it is time to end. Unfortunately, our time is up.
You are that kind of guy.
Yeah, it's always me. It breaks the bad news. But yeah, everyone, you've Abby is with us now. Hooray!
Yay!
And, you can see our pieces already up on the site, which is really cool. And you'll probably be expecting a podcast next Wednesday. They happen every Wednesday. Actually, I mean, they happen every Wednesday. And
they happen occasionally on Wednesday.
Yeah. Something like that.
The past 7 have been on Wednesdays.
Yeah. And then
or that's
uploaded for Thursday. So all good. But anyway, from myself and the team here, it's a jolly well goodbye.
Bye.
Bye guys.
Bye.
Bye.